All right, boys, how well done?
Brilliant.
All right, lads.
All good.
Well, we caught a hangover Sundays because that was the drunkest football we've ever been to.
No, for me it wasn't.
You were driving, so and I didn't drink. But for everybody else, it was amazing. It was if there's a petition, we've engaged our fan base a load of times this season. Let's start a petition to say any Saturday game that you have now, from now on, is just moved to 7:45 on a Saturday night because it's fucking brilliant.
I'd also petition whoever runs the railways to make sure that they put a train on. That means that I can get back down to Newcastle at 1 o'clock in the morning rather than having to drive that fucking distance. So I got my full backing.
You take that up with your government, and we'll just keep getting wrecked. I knew it was going to be a good day when I text Brad's at like 6 o'clock or something to say, "Where are you?" And he just replied saying "steaming," and it was spelt wrong. And I was like, brilliant. I was like, epic. I was like, that's when you know it's going to be a good day. So,
Right.
Brad's, we'll start with you. How are you?
A wee bit tender the day, aye. A wee bit
It's
rough.
all right. You
I
were
was-
enjoying yourself up the back of G. I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I had an absolute ball. I'm a full advocate for this late night kickoff thing. Sign
And
me up every
Shanks,
week.
he attempted at least 5 Viva Kujabis for you. So there you go. It was solo for all of them. It was solo for all of them, which was good. Shanks, what's been happening?
All right, mate. Aye, no, it's good to be back. Good to be back. I've been in the jail. I've been selling black market Chelsea strips. So back business.
You've been globe-trotting, so it's good to have you back. We've not to talk to you about Hearts, though. That's right, innit? Because you've not paid any attention for a month.
I'm hard staff, but I went to the derby. Apart from that,
And then
what was the score at the derby?
Right. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing to write home about. Kev, what's been happening?
Not a lot. I should have probably been a little bit rough this morning, but I was brand new. Can only thank the 3-mile walk that I had to find a bloody bus stop. That would be probably the reason behind why I was all right.
Right. You see, you've been getting absolutely roasted on Twitter today.
Nothing new.
Somebody spotted that you'd replaced your Stone Island badge with a wee Ukraine flag. We're all battering you.
What?
He was getting on, didn't he? There's a video kicking about to somebody at one of the games yesterday, and instead of having a Stony badge, he'd replaced it with a wee Ukraine flag. That's the war over, boys. Putin's back to his bed. The away days have told him, end the war, or we'll come for you with the Stonies on. Me and you actually had matching jumpers on yesterday, Kev. It was quite embarrassing at one point, wasn't it?
We did. We got the badge in. So
we did, mate.
We worked, and we didn't actually even get the same email.
Aye, that's true. That's true. And Ando, you've officially broke your hoodoo of travelling up to games. That's 2 wins in a row.
Aye, it's now getting to the point where I think I am only probably going forward from here going to be allowed to drive to games and not get bevied with the boys. So, fuck the boys, because you know what? The game yesterday was brilliant as well, cover, but getting to and from the game, it's just a pain in the arse. Being in the car by yourself for 3 hours in each direction is boring.
Well, luckily, fuel prices are so affordable right now that you will barely even be noticing having to spend your money travelling up and down for Newcastle.
Oh, this is true.
It's true. Right. Obviously, welcome back to This Is My Story, your unofficial Hearts podcast. As we say every week, our opinion our own and always miles off it. So, boys, we'll dive through the usuals. We'll have what, Kev? We've got Kevin McKenna's as players of the day.
I got another 2 for this week.
Nice one. Then we've got a Tamdown, as we're calling it officially now, because he's a man down wherever he is, so might as well call it that. We've got headlines. We'll review the St Midden game from last night. Preview Livingston. The remaining fixtures. We'll talk about Hearts being back at Hampden. That's pretty much about it. We'll talk shite in between. Sound good, boys?
Absolutely.
Good. Right, Kev. Let's start off with Kevin McKenna's as players.
Kevin McKenna's for this week. Nice and simple. But we never put the 2 out last week on the socials. But Hey, we'll no bother about it. Nobody would have got them anyway because they're all young folk that listen to this podcast know as old as me.
Stop pulling your weight, Kevin. Maybe you can do it next week. Yeah, how's that?
No worries.
Right.
First one for this week. Aged 28 and in his 4th season at the club. 10 goals across all four seasons. 86 appearances in total and hung. So that's your first one for this week. And the second one, spent 2 seasons in Gorgie. Played at international level under 17, 19 and 21, but never at the full cap. Only goal was against Alloa on one of the coldest nights I've ever experienced, and sexy bastard. So there you go. That is your 2 McKennas for this week.
Okay.
The first one, just you give him a contract extension, the length of his dong, don't you?
Exactly.
You just say, there you go. Get it on the table. Right. Nice one. Did you want to give the answers to last week's ones, or did we do that?
We didn't,
remember.
but I could do them just now if you wish.
We'll go through them again. We'll give Shanks an opportunity to win some points.
No worries at all. So last week it was in honour of Corbett's top. So Shanks, I don't know if you've watched last week's YouTube, but it was the Alexander's top from the 82-83 season. And the first one was born on Hogmanay in 1948. In total, 276 appearances with only 3 goals. For all, a great for Hearts, possibly a bigger great for another Scottish club. And although that great for that club, he supported Hearts as a boy, as he was brought up close to Tynecastle. So that was your first one from last week. You want to take a pop guess now, or do you want the second one?
Give me the second one, Kev.
Okay, mate. The second one is...
That one's a banker. That one's in the bank. Let me go for the difficult one.
Had 2 spells at the club. He's a Scottish Cup winner. Scored 24 league goals and was known for his mullet.
Partnered Presley at the back. Why have I absolute mind blank?
Okay.
Signed for Everton, I think. No. Best ever centre back that we had signed on that mad rule that everybody got raging about. Romanoff sold him. Fuck, mind blank.
Okay.
It's
wrong
one of my
anyway.
favourite players. Is it wrong?
Aye.
Who am I
It's
thinking of? I've got my photo of him.
It's 100% wrong.
It was good to watch, you know. It was like, I liked your thought process. You're thinking of Andy Webster, I think, aren't you?
Aye, Webster. I thought it was Webster.
It's good
He
that
does have a mullet, though.
He did. But then so
Yeah.
did that, so...
So there you go.
This was like a proper mullet, though, like a 80s mullet we're talking about here.
Cool. I'll pass on both of those, Kev, but it's nice
Okay.
to be back. I'll catch you in July.
No worries at all. So first one, the answer was Sandy Jardine, and the second one, known for his mullet, was Big Slim himself, Dave McPherson.
Fantastic.
So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Tune in next week for even more.
Aye, for more players from the 1980s. Thanks, Kev.
Or even less, really,
Alright.
is what we should really be badging that as, but never mind.
Right. Thanks for that, Kev. Right, Ando, talk us through what we're doing, because I don't know if Shanks and Brad's have took
No,
part
they haven't. So,
in a Tamdown yet.
talking about even less, welcome. This instead of down, you're welcome, Tam. Then we have something called Tamdown, which is broadly similar. In fact, it's really no different at all, other than it's not the squad from a particular match. It is a list of my criteria. So if I think back, I can't remember that far back. I'm just checking to what the previous ones were. We had the last umpteen goal scorers against Hibs, the last umpteen goal scorers against Rangers, in a sort of predefined time. Everyone's going to have to put their hands on their heads for this, so I know that you're not using the Tinterweb.
Do you know, I think every time we go to say we should just say Tam now.
Yeah, we'll just call it Tam.
Aye,
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Because that way we don't have to bleep it.
That's true.
Certainly.
Unless his mum and dad are listening.
Shanks, you're going to make a Tammy this.
Right, so everyone's hands up in the air, and what I have for you this week, it's quite topical, is there's 21 players on this list, and this is, I want a list of goal scorers for Hearts in Scottish Cup semi-finals since the 1995-96 season. Right, so the season before we won it, like the most important time we won it, obviously the night, whenever it was, 1998, whenever it was, the most important time.
The Lego bus like that.
I know. It's actually over there. See, when I move into my new house, it's going to be on a shelf behind my seat so that everybody can see it every pod. So a couple of seasons before that, you think back to the game that Rangers destroyed us 5-1 in the final, right? So the semi-final that got us there, every game forward from then. So Scottish Cup semi-finals since 95-96 season, there are 21 players, and in no particular order. I'm going to come to Shanks first. Give me an answer.
Craig Beattie.
Craig Beattie is correct. Brad, you're next.
Hartley.
Paul Hartley is correct. Kev, you're next.
Neil McCann.
Neil McCann is correct. Corbett.
I think if I should get the obscure ones that only me and Kev will know out the way first, because we were wearing Nest Hope, weren't we?
Yes.
Magic.
Correct. Sorry, back to Shanks.
Did Katongo score against Falkirk?
No, he didn't. Well, he might have scored against Falkirk, but that was... In fact, you're thinking of the semi-final at Ibrox. No, he didn't. Katongo has probably scored against Falkirk, but not in the Scottish Cup semi-final setting, so nice try.
An assist, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's not part of the quiz, but never mind. Brad's next.
Rudy.
So Rudy, yes. Over Kev.
I'm not going to take Corbett's view, but I'll go Jankowskis.
Gareth Jankowskis, absolutely correct. Over to Corbett.
Robbo.
Absolutely correct. Shanks, you're next.
Sean Clare score against Cali?
Yes, he did.
Nice,
Brad's.
Shanks. Well played.
Hands above your head.
I'm writing these down. You obviously stole Robbo. I'll go with equally as good a striker, and I'll go with Whiten.
Whiten. Well done, Brads. He is on the list. Kev, you're next.
I'll take your favourite player of all time, Mr. Boyce.
Yeah, my boy. Corbett.
John Suter.
John Suter is correct. Shanks, you're next. Davy Weir. Incorrect. There are 10 answers left. Brad, you're next.
And I got one of them tattooed on my arse, though.
I don't know what you got tattooed on that.
I'll take Uchi then.
Oh, aye, him. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Over to Kev.
Christ, actually.
No, he's not on the list.
He's already been spoken about. Mr. Scatchell's already been spoken.
Stop stalling for time. Maybe snappy. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev.
Yeah.
Yes, Corbett said John Suter.
All right.
Yeah, there's a crime, Kev. Not to put the pressure on you. And you're out. Right. Okay, Corbett, you're next.
Has anybody said Paul Hartley?
Yes, Brad said Paul Hartley.
I'm going to suffer for there's a crime because now I'm trying to work my way back to figure out what's semi-final. Stefan Adam, sorry.
Stefan Adam, correct. I should also say it's semi-finals onwards, so the final is included. Semi-finals onwards.
The game's
Listen
wide open
to the
now,
fucking question, you bunch of dozy tams. Right, Shanks, back to you. That'll maybe reset your guesswork.
Steve Filton.
Filton. No.
Oh, fuck, did he get the penalty? Oh, no.
Yes, he fell over for the penalty outside the box.
I was still on the boozer.
A penalty. Scored by who, Brads?
I've got Gowser, so I'm stealing that before anybody else thinks it.
Right, McGowan. Okay, that's fair enough. Kev.
Ryan Edwards.
Okay, that's the one I was kind of banking on folk no getting, but well done, Kev. Corbett.
John Cohoon.
Oh, Kenwit.
Scored in the 5-1, didn't he? And it was a fucking peach.
Yes, he did. And I love you for it. Well done. Sorry, over to Shanks.
Thanks for not taking this, boys. And watch me get it wrong. Was it Cameron that scored the penalty?
Yes, it might have been.
Well done.
Over to Brad's.
Granger.
Danny Granger, correct. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 answers left. And we're over to Kev.
Darren Barr.
Correct. 3 answers left. Over to Corbett.
Right, so we must have done all the 5-1 goal scorers, have we?
Yes, we have.
Have we?
Mhm.
Josh Ginnelly.
Josh Ginnelly. Oh, you dirty sod. Yes. Well done, Corbett. And we are back to Shanks with 2 answers left. There's a time limit on this now, so I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
Voice has been said.
Liam voice has been said.
Fucking Mark DeVries. Partners.
You're out. Okay, Brad's next. You've got 2 answers left and 10 seconds.
Elvis.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
Kev, 2 answers left, 10 seconds to go.
Webster.
No. Corbett, win it
Stephen.
for them.
Stephen Kingsley.
Correct. Well done, my man. That's it.
Is there one left?
There is one left.
Is it Stephen
Okay.
McLean?
No, it's not. It's Davidas Cisnauskas.
Oh, semi-final v Celtic when we,
Correct.
and it was an absolute banger as well.
That's right. The 10th of April 2005, John Robertson was the manager. Davidas Cisnauskas, sorry, 60 minutes in. So
Game famous for antics, but we'll dodge it. We'll dodge past it.
We'll leave that. So, Corbett, we're going to have to rename this feature because we've played this 3 times now. How many times have you won it?
All 3.
So all 3, exactly. So the final scores on the door: Corbett 7, Brad's 6, Kev 5, and Shanks 3. So there you go. Corbett is they're probably, we may as well just fucking mothball this feature now because you seem to be winning it all the time.
Because I use common sense approach, start for the furthest away one and work your way back up.
And there's the fundamental knowledge attached to everything and your Hearts fandom in general. But well played, boys. That was a good one. That. So we'll get another one of them next week. And actually, what I might do is hand it over to someone else next week. Now you know the format. In fact, I'm the only Hearts geek stats nerd here that can pull these lists together. So fuck it. We'll have another one next week.
Nice. Right. Headlines. Obviously, the Hearts are going to Hampden. Okay.
Yes.
You can be embarrassed on the national stage. Yeah.
Can't wait.
We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the game yesterday in a wee bit of depth, but we touched on it before. But we'll talk about it again. 7:45 on a Saturday night. Atmosphere. We've battled it loads of times before. Away days, we seem to be getting bang on it. Away day atmospheres are class. Derbies obviously take care of themselves, but general atmosphere around about Tynecastle on a match day can be pretty dire. But yesterday it was absolutely bouncing for the start. It was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it, Kev?
It was. I thought it was. I did, when I first came into because I was in the main stand yesterday. I thought it was a bit quiet, but as the game got going, again we've said this before about how the players have a responsibility to get the fans going as much as the fans have got a responsibility to get the players and the team going forward. And I thought the two of them worked pretty well yesterday.
Agreed. Obviously, we were Ando for Section G. We were, I sit the back row. I stand the back row, Section G. You're pretty much nearer the front, but literally for the full 90 minutes, it was standing and bouncing, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And there was quite a sort of squadron of new faces that that are not normally there on a Saturday. So it was good to see quite a lot of the young team, which I was quite enjoyed them getting absolutely smashed and adding to the atmosphere. If we'd been on the wrong end of a bad result, then obviously I'd have been raging. But nah, it was as wanky as it sounds. Total carnival atmosphere yesterday, big game atmosphere, and it was brilliant, start to finish.
It was noticeable that I know we shared the pictures of the attendance or whatever. What was it? Just under 13,000 or just over 13,000?
Just over.
Or yesterday. But when people were sharing the pictures, they like saying, "Oh, let's sell these out and showing you all the empty seats or whatever." It was noticeable that N and G were completely full from almost the get go, and it was like I said, it was obviously there have been season ticket holders and stuff in those sections, but it was noticeable the difference in like people that didn't normally sit around there, which was great. And I was thinking if we could combine and get N and G to combine forces and create safe standing behind the goal at the Gorgie and have just a pure absolute nutcase stand would be brilliant. We need to make it happen.
Definitely.
We need to make it happen. We had half bottles of Butterfast getting past the boot. We had bottles of MD 2020. It was great. It was like a European game or something, but on a Saturday night in Gorgie. And that was just Brad's.
I know.
No, let's not big Brad's up too much. It was Brad's da that was the best of that.
He had a bag of cans like and just piling them out up the back. But it was good, and fair play to the BBC as well for inviting Jack Ross and setting him as close to Section G as he possibly could fit him. But fucking fair play. Like, I mean, if any way to ensure there's an atmosphere is put that Hibs Tam right in front of us. So that was pretty good. And you got to say fair play to St Mirren as well. I thought their cheering of the D28 for St Mirren to Gorgie was quite impressive. You see their wee shitty video of them cheering the bus under the tunnel now.
No, I missed that.
There's aspects of the ultra stuff that I like, but the whole cheering on a bus thing I find quite weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's a bit strange, and especially because you get battered and knocked out the cup, you just look silly, don't you?
Wee bit.
An element, they've got other videos as well, them walking to Gorgie as well, and flares and police escort, and I think that's brilliant. I think we need more of that. Absolutely.
Well, you were there, Brad. You thought that was us.
I know.
That's why we had to be like, no, we're at the Ardmillan. What are you talking about? You're like, no, I'm at the front. I've got a megaphone. There's all the St Mirren fans going like, who the fuck's Viva Kujabi? What's he talking about?
I had my face painted like a panda. I was loving it.
Yeah. Hear the pandas roar. That's where we go. Right, Hampden. I fucking hate Hampden. But suppose we're in a semi-final. It looks like, and there's a stat I seen earlier, someone put up, it might be in Heart Stats actually, said that if Celtic win tomorrow, it'll be the first time ever that Hearts, Hibs and Celtic and Rangers have been in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. It'll be the first time that's ever happened.
Nah, I'm not buying that. That must have happened before.
Doesn't it? We've shown you all this thing where you like gone back to the closest thing would have been stuff like Ferd Lanark or St Bernard's and stuff like that back in the good old days. But it'll be the first time. It'll be the first time ever if Celtic make it through tomorrow, which you've got to imagine that they will. Quickly, we'll go around the houses. Do you have a preference in the draw, Brad? Got some stats to make your choice a bit easier.
I'd for the semis, I'd take Hibs or Rangers. Hibs or Celtic.
Right, I was going to say we've never beaten Rangers at Hampden in our history.
Mm-hmm.
We've also never lost to Hibs at Hampden in our history. Celtic, I think we're a bit meh. I think we had the upper hand until the last two finals with Celtic, and we'd played them in 4 cup finals and won 3, lost 1, but now they won the last 2, so I think we're 3-3 in cup finals against them. But again, I'm with you, Brad. My preference would probably be as horrible as it is. I'd say Hibs in the semi would be mine. Shanks, what about you?
Smash Hibs in the semi standard, and then roll the dice against Rangers in the final.
You taking Rangers to beat Celtic? Like,
Aye.
Controversial.
it's controversial. That's true, but not a Rangers podcast, so fuck them. Right, move on. Kev, what's your thoughts?
Do you know what? I don't really care. I genuinely
Nice,
don't
Kev,
care.
Wearing your big boy pants, I like it.
Wearing my big point, but I don't care because you're going to have to play. If you're going to go and win the trophy, you're going to have to play one of the ugly sisters and one of the ugly cousins. So, do we want to look at it? So that's you're now into a semi-final. So for that point of view, you're going to have to play. As I say, the likelihood is a Celtic or Rangers in the final, and you're going to have to play either one of the ugly cousins, i.e. Celtic or Hibs, in the semi-final.
I was going to say you just defined what ugly cousins there.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
I was struggling with that, if I'm honest.
It's
So
a wee
you
bit
know,
of incest, that, Kev.
Aye.
Yeah.
You know what they're like,
Well,
you know, just how all
well,
these
he's
big
nailed-
lovins
he's
didn't
nailed
bother
them.
with it. And they have
nailed
like
them. Fine.
a Celtic versus Hibs game, is it?
It's a strange one. I'd rather play Hibs in the semi just because you didn't want to. In a one-off game, you didn't want to have that hanging over us. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to handle the stress right now. I can't even handle the stress of the idea of the draw tomorrow, let alone the actual 90 minutes. So
I'm quite happy to go my lifetime to no play them in the final again and just be happy to
100%.
gloat the entire time until I die.
100%.
No, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely the opposite, and I don't know why. Right, I'm different to you guys on this because, like, if anything, I've been around longer than you. Well, not Kev. Sorry, I'll just shut up. I've definitely not been around longer than him. But not any chance to just get the dick out and slap them across the face with it. But fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Those are the days that you live for. There's no point in hiding away from it.
Aye,
Bring
they're
it on.
brilliant. They're the greatest thing after. They're brilliant, but there is always the chance that you'll get slapped to a dick yourself, which is
I'm willing.
nobody wants to be on the receiving end of that. Like,
I've had a few dicks in my. Actually, no, I won't. I'm not going to admit that live on here. That'll make the cut list. I've been bobbied in the face a few times. Let's not kid on here.
Right. Here, that all started with us talking about the atmosphere. I told you, a Saturday night in Gorgie, it ends up with Ando with a dick in his face. I mean, sign us up, I'm all for it. Ando, you want to share your stat you shared with us in the group chat earlier? Because that was quite a strange...
It was, aye. So, as far back as I can see, and I don't claim to be the font of all Hearts knowledge on this, but I'm a bit of a Hearts nerd and a bit of a stats geek. Is that the first goal that was scored yesterday by Benny? That was his first goal of the season. The second goal that was scored yesterday by Pedro Haring, that was his second goal of the season. The third goal that was scored was his third goal of the season, and the fourth goal that was scored was his fourth goal of the season. That has never happened in Hearts history before. So there you go. That's and the only reason I put that in the group chat is because that, I know it's stupid because it's never happened before. There's nothing to say that it's like a repeating prophecy or anything like that. But it's one of those things that I looked at and I was like, man, that doesn't happen every day. In fact, it has never fucking happened in the last nearly 150 years, however long it's been. That means we're on to something special. Means we're fucking winning this cup this year. There you go.
There's loads of omens. I'll give you it. Right, Shanks, what are you going to say?
Ken, when you're going on a flight and you ken there's not going to be any internet and you've just got to rely on the old bank, that's what I'll be thinking of the next time. That is absolutely class. Well played, Ando.
It was a weird scenario. Right, anything else headline wise? We're trying to think if we've obviously still smashed with injuries and what Peter Haring. Craig Halkett went down with a head knock after about 3 minutes yesterday, and I thought, oh, here we go again. But anything else Hearts related that's caught your eye or non-Hearts related this week, boys?
It's been a fairly quiet week, eh?
Quiet week.
Boring, isn't it?
Well, we've already covered the injuries on the last show. Shit, I said I said show. Fuck.
Yeah, he said show.
Right.
Fine.
My God, man. Well seen Tam's no here. I'm going to have to do this edit. Fuck's sake, it's all my own stuff that I'm cutting. Damn it. That was the only thing I was going to touch on is the injuries. Like yesterday didn't really seem to affect us. I thought that's probably noteworthy. Well, it did affect us in that we didn't line up the way that we wanted to, but like that performance yesterday was ideal for me. Again, we'll cover it in more detail shortly.
Well, we might as well cover it now if there was nothing else that had sprung up for the week. So obviously yesterday, Heart of Midlothian 4, St Mirren 2, quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup. A brilliant game. It was actual class. It reminded me of the Dundee United game, if I was being honest with you. And in aspects of it, it was end to end, and thought St Mirren actually played pretty well in spells as well. It ebbed and flowed the game. So the victory takes us to Hampden, as we just discussed. Kev, what was your overall thoughts in the game? Who impressed you? Who stood out? What did you like?
I think from the point of view, I actually quite liked the way that Benny played yesterday. I thought he looked back to that sort of early season form. He seemed to be a lot more comfortable on the ball. I don't know if that's because he's maybe just got his fitness levels back up to the kind of levels they were at before his injury pre-Christmas. So I liked to see him back on the ball, just breaking things up. He took a couple of ones for the team as well, one of which he got a yellow card for, which was I quite like to see that every now and again. I thought McAneff, as soon as when he came on, just gave us a little bit more impetus even.
Easy for you to say.
Aye.
Nice.
And
He's trying to get that Newman sponsorship in. We've had Manscaped. Now he needs help with his impetus.
And it was nice to see the couple of crosses that he put in, especially the one for Sims in the final goal. It was great. So they were definitely 2+ points. Mackay was just his usual creative self. It'll be just great once the boy actually scores a goal. Ideally, one in the semi-final, maybe one in the final, just to win it for us. That would be ideal.
Yeah. Here.
Now,
Go
I'm
on.
going to steam in here and say, right, what would you prefer? Would you prefer that Barry Mackay gets a couple of goals, but maybe loses 20-25% of his quality, or the fact that he hasn't scored, but he continues this level of sort of delivery for the rest of the team? I'm quite happy if he keeps playing the way he's playing, and provided there's no downturn on it. I'm quite happy if he never scores for Hearts, as long as he keeps contributing the way he does.
No worries. I'm not got a concern about that at all.
Stupid question, right enough, but I
love the fact your cat just walked right across the front of your screen.
Honestly, the cat's a fucking arsehole. Honestly,
That's your dick in your face and a pussy. There you go. What a night you're having. We're getting the cat's arsehole again. Brilliant. Superb. What a weekend we're all having here, boys.
Exactly. Answer the question. No, I don't mind if he continues to be creative. If he doesn't score, that is perfectly fine for me. If he's setting them up for everybody else, not a problem.
Well, here, Brad, here's a serious point, right? If Barry Mackay adds goals to his game, we're up shit creek because somebody will buy him. Because he's that good.
Aye, I'm starting to do this media chat now about him getting his call up for Scotland again and all this kind of stuff. So there is this hype, and if he keeps playing the way he's playing, there's a few boys on that list actually in that team that hopefully get secured on longer contracts or reevaluate their contracts and get them staying. But he's clearly had a bit of form. He's obviously enjoying his football now. It's not always gone that way for him. So hopefully he sees the positives and stays. But you're right. I think we'll lose him to a bigger fish.
I thought it was sensational yesterday. Ando, what about yourself? What was your overall thoughts on the game?
I think overall, I think it was a completely dominating performance. I think for the most part, most of the things that St Mirren got away with were as a result of our sloppiness. I think that was a big theme throughout the game. It's somebody's already mentioned it, saying that St Mirren played well. St Mirren St Mirren did play well in spells, but that was only really as a result of our tardiness. I think taking that absolute worldie of a goal that they scored for their equaliser, take that out of consideration, because I don't think there's much you can criticise there. Boyce clears the ball and does a good job of the clearance. It just so happens that it falls to the boy, acres of space, and it absolutely brilliant strike. But that aside, anything that St Mirren got, I think, was down to our laziness or our mistakes. I think if we can tighten up on that, easily 4, 5, 6-0.
I thought that's maybe doing St Mirren a wee bit of a disservice, but I get this.
And quite right too, because I hate them.
Yeah, fuck them, exactly. But I thought they offered a bit in the game as well, which was quite good. And the most impressive thing was, again, we managed it. You know, you're 2 up, goes to 2 each. We've all been there before watching Heart sides. You know, you think the arse is going to collapse. We've all seen this story before, but again, the team shows a bit of character, a bit of bottle, goes on to win. Brads, what impressed you?
Craigie Halkett, mate. He was different class, and again, we've spoken, you spoken at length about how comfortable he is with Suter, but he has become a different animal this year. I think.
Same.
The fact that Suter looked more ropey when he's not in the team says something. So I really think he's come into a great form. He cleared everything. He was just calm, composed, and he was starting to do. I'm loving seeing it. Starting to do that Suter run now.
Yeah.
So instead of launching the ball, he's taking the ball forward on foot and then finding that pass into Benny, finding that pass into Harren or one of the front three, and it just makes such a change to our game. That fast level of play, just play it through.
Watched it again, the game again today, and I'm pretty sure, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, he starts the moves that created all 4 of the goals, bursting from defence into attack, playing the passes. I'm sure he plays the pass into Boyce that then leads into Woodburn that passes back for Haring. I'm pretty sure he plays the pass into McInnes, who plays it into Atkinson, and then back to McInnes for the third, and he plays the pass that sets McInnes down cross for Sims as well. And again, the other thing I found impressive was Kingsley was really good at that yesterday as well. That sort of, out of the 3 of them, Kingsley, Suter and Halkett, Suter's probably the one that's the most guilty for the hopeful crossfield World Cup pass, as folk like to say. Do you know what I mean? Like that's in his locker. He normally, if he can't burst forward, he does like to go for a diag type thing. So it was good to see both Kingsley and Halkett bursting forward, and I think they have the confidence to do that because they have Haring in there. Because I think he knows how to can drop back and play in the back as well. Shanks, I don't know. Did you catch much of the game?
I just caught the highlights. I think for me, if I was pulling something out, it just felt like we were in a lot of control in the flanks, where usually we kind of are a bit wasteful, and then it always felt like you had somebody in the hole that was hungry for it. And most of the time we actually managed to produce a bit of quality. So yeah, never seen the full game, but obviously it was a belter, so been enjoying listening to your lads' stories.
I think, sorry, Corbett, I think Boyce needs to get kind of mentioned as well, because he's obviously lost that striking role to Sims, because Sims isn't as effective in that free position as Boyce is. He's not spat the dummy. He was dropping deep. He was picking up the ball early. He was playing like a proper 10 and did it without any complaints. Now, he's not going to get the same opportunities to score as what Sims gets, and he's not going to probably be on the score sheet as often as he would like now, but there's no bitching and moaning. He just got on with the game and had a really kind of got stuck in a bitty game and was winning tackles, playing the passes. That's exactly what I want for a player.
And for that reason, he was man of the match for me yesterday. I know the popular answer is Peter Haring, and I think that's what was voted for on the BBC man of the match thing. But for me, Boyce, for exactly the reason you outlined there, he was man of the match yesterday by a distance.
I thought, to be fair, I thought you could have picked a whole host of Hearts players to be man of the match, if I'm being honest with you. I thought Benny played brilliant. I thought McInnes changed the game in our favour when he came on. I thought Sims was lively and really, really good. I thought Halliday had a great game. obviously Kingsley and Halkett were superb as well. So we'll go to the start. Obviously, all week long, we've heard Robbie and that talk about the fact that we are quite hampered with injuries right now. It looks like Suter and Devlin at least are long-term injuries, with probably Ginnelly being added to that as well. There were the late fitness tests were for Haring and for Atkinson, who I think Haring was a knock, and I think Atkinson had said they'd been feeling a bit sick. Obviously, Cochrane is concussion, so he should be back for Livingston or whatever. But obviously, we make the changes, and to be fair, we've praised him all year long. Joe Savage, that's right, innit? I mean, we play shite, you have to blame Joe Savage, so we're playing brilliant, so you have to go back to praising Joe Savage. The squad, the actual starting 11 was fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we could pick that starting 11 and it would do the job most weeks in the Premier League. I think what was most noticeable was the bench. Obviously, we had Tony Sibic. There you go. Just to annoy that guy.
Simon with no surname.
Yep. Sibic and McAniff, and the rest was made up by the young boys that had played the night before against Rangers. That's right, Brad, wasn't it?
I think those three didn't feature, but for that reason.
Aye. Mackenzie, Kirk, Ravi,
Luke Rathie and Macaulay Tate.
Yep. So I had Robbie joking about it. They saying that the wee boys are buzzing because they were a match day squad, means they get the win bonus. So they've been buzzing. Again, it's this. There was two slight negatives, right? We might as well go into them before we wax lyrical about how good Hearts were. There was two slight negatives, and I'll touch on the first one there because we're talking about them. You're 4-2 up. There's minutes on the clock to go. You get 3 academy graduates that are sitting on the bench. You can make 5 subs in the cup, can't you? Or is it still just 3?
No, it's 3.
3.
Scottish Cup's still 3.
So he's got 2 subs he's able to make at the time with minutes to go. And he brings Sibic on for a minute and 30 seconds or whatever.
You'd like he touched the ball.
You bring the young boys on, don't you? Fucking, at least
Couple
for the
of
sake
things.
of it.
Couple of things. Without being wanky about it, there maybe is the reason to bring. No, in fact, no, we own Sibic outright, don't we?
Yep.
We don't have him on a loan deal. Right, okay, well, I'll fucking put that one on the ground straight away. The other 2, you're gonna have to pay them an appearance fee. Now, while we're not that tin pot to think that we don't need to cut corners and all that sort of stuff, but to your point, you absolutely would give the young lads a chance at a packed Tynecastle. Everything's bouncing. As soon as the full-time whistle goes, everybody's arms are up in the air. Yes, that gives them a taste of what it's like to play for Hearts. There is no reason why you wouldn't do it, but there clearly is a reason why he hasn't done it, and that eludes us.
So, yeah, and you have to pay an appearance fee for Sibic. So, do you know what I mean? It's 6 of 1, half a dozen. I just thought that was. Then look, it's a fucking minor gripe, but it's just because obviously, as it stands now, we've played no academy prospects in the league this year. I don't know. I think we played Finlay Pollock in a couple of the League Cup games, but I don't know if anybody for the academies featured in the Scottish or whatever. So that was the only thing I thought. Do you know what? You're 4-2 up. They're not going to score 2 in the 30 minute and 30 seconds that are left. So that was only slight disappointment.
I reckon Robbie's arse was just twitching about how much of a pelters you would have given him if we'd have conceded a goal. And that's why he's
we would have had to have conceded 3 to get knocked out, 2 for it to have gone the extra time. I just thought, look, it's just one of those things, in it. It was just one of the, when I looked back in at the time in the game, I didn't even bat an eyelid. But when I rewatched it, re-evaluated who was on the bench and all that, I thought we missed a trick. We missed a trick
right.
with that sort of stuff.
100%. Why bring Barry Mackay off in a completely safe scenario to bring on a defender that hasn't played the last 2 games? It is stupid. Don't know why.
So, and then the other negative one there was probably, and it's a 50-50 because I thought going forward he was really good, but defensively I just still think he's needs to catch up to speed of what happens in the Scottish game. I thought Atkinson was probably got to the worst performer on the park for Hearts, but that's not because he was he was maybe 6 out of 10, whilst everybody else was a 7 or 8 or a 9 type thing. He was at fault for the first goal for St Mirren. He's come in field and tried a crossfield pass to Tamdown. He's went straight to St Mirren. They've run out of the park and scored. He loses the ball in the build up to the corner that leads to their unbelievable wonder goal as well. I thought there was just bits of him. We were talking about it at the game, Brads, if you can remember. There was just bits of his game last night that were defensively were a bit ropey, but going forward, he was brilliant.
Yeah, I think. Obviously, we spoke about this with Cochrane as well. These boys, I still think, are learning the Scottish game in terms of having to be a wee bit more savvier, bombing that far forward. But when we talk about having Halkett, Kingsley, Benny, and Harron playing that central defensive role, I think we just have to turn a blind eye to the fact that he's going to be shite sometimes. We want him bombing forward. We've asked for that for years. Is somebody overlapping? If the caveat for that is that defensively is a bit shite, so be it. Aaron Hickey wasn't great defensively, but he did that overlapping role perfectly, and would itch to get him back again.
And I thought he played better when McInnes came on. I liked their wee link up plays. They were, like you say, overlapping and stuff like that was pretty good. But just a few times in the first half, it was the same against Aberdeen and that as well, where it was just a few things, like you said, just needs to be a bit more streetwise at how the Scottish game goes. Ando?
Well, I put my hand down again because I'm not entirely sure that I've got this right, but talk me through their first goal. I'm pretty sure it comes out from their keeper. It's a long flighted ball over to the right-hand side. Guy runs down the wing, crosses, and then whatever was Eamon Brophy puts it in.
He always scores against us. I told you that.
You called that in the pub.
Always scores against us.
How's Thingy at fault for that?
I'm sure he has the ball on the right hand side. He comes inside and switches it, and it either goes back to the St Mirren goalkeeper and they bring it forward and score from there. But he gives the ball away in the phases of play, which lead to them scoring.
Well, happy to be corrected, but I'm sure it goes from keeper far, like as I'm looking at it, far edge of the penalty box. Flighted ball over to the halfway line down on our right hand side. Guy runs forward with it, crosses it in from the right hand side, and then Brophy fucking past Craig Gordon into the top left hand corner.
So
doesn't he touch it from the point the keeper has it?
But they got it because of his pass. He comes in field.
Okay.
He comes in field like he did against Celtic, runs into trouble, tries a crossfield ball to Nebde, St Mirren win the ball back, which ends up in the next phase of play them scoring. Same with the second. He's just, so I said that Spain streetwise, he's been caught a couple of times with it. Defensively, like Brad says, is right. He's not here. Well, he is here to defend, and he'll get up to speed with it or whatever. But he's here to go forward, and I thought going forward in the second half, especially, he was really good. Do you know what I mean? He plays his part in both the goals. So, first goal, I'm sure one of us, and I don't know who, said that if Benny ever scored for Hearts, it'd be a slide tackle. And it turned out that it actually was. It was a two-footed slide tackle and scored.
Definitely wasn't me that said that. I'm pretty confident he would never score for Hearts because in front of goal, like he's fucking dog shit.
I just love that. What was it, the 89th minute, and they're all going fucking mental for him to shoot, and he fires it just about over the fucking Gorgon.
About 15 feet right over the bar.
Aye. But it was brilliant to see him score, and that's exactly where you want him to be, isn't it?
I didn't realise until today it was his first senior goal ever.
It doesn't shock me.
No, absolutely, it doesn't shock me at all. But to the same point, I am absolutely surprised because you think a guy that has feet that gifted in the middle of the park, how has he not weighed in with his contribution of goals for everybody he's played for beforehand? But again, one for another day.
The thing that got me was the St Mirren defender who quite happily just stood with his hand up in the air. Didn't bother actually even try to put a tackle in, and watch Sims, and then it come back out, and then started to think, I better do something about it. But by that point, as you rightly say, Benny's coming in with 2 feet to slide tackle it straight into the back of the net.
Shelley Kerr did that in her analysis, and she was like, it picked out 10 moments for the game where Hearts boys were far more dedicated to every lost cause than St Mirren were. and it showed. And I don't know if that was the atmosphere. I don't know if that was part of their instructions, the tempo. There's something was clicking last night, and St Mirren were just off it in that sense. So
yeah, and I thought so. But Brad, I was going to come to you next anyway, because from a keeper's perspective, why did he do better in the first goal? Why is he not trying to go with his hands? I didn't. After the initial Sims save, I don't know why he hasn't attempted to try and dive after it.
I've watched it a few times. I think it's just panic stations. You're just flapping your legs, like, because both of them are doing it. Like Sims is trying to kick it, and he's trying to kick it. He's just trying to get it away. I don't know. It's not great goalkeeping in any shape or form. And this is folk that Hearts fans are jumping down that we should be signing him as backup.
Well, he'd later on in the second half made one of the best saves of the game, if not the best save of the game, for the deflected Woodburn shot. It was a belter. It was a good one. But again, it was like, to be honest, the way we started the game was exactly the way we've bemoaned Hearts for a long time for not being able to start, if you know what I mean. And one of the things I've liked this season the most is the way that Robbie spoke about things like this. And Robbie's been guilty of it. Sometimes he says he has brain farts and says stupid things in the press, but we've had said it a couple of times on this. Almost said show, and then I stopped myself. But we have said it a few times on here that I like bullish Robbie. Do you know what I mean? I like how aggressive he is in the way he speaks about what he wants Hearts to do. If you know what I mean? And that it said, it's Hearts it's Tynecastle under the lights, it's chance to get to Hampden, all that sort of stuff. And I thought from the very first whistle of the first half, we were absolutely at it with our aggression. Kev.
Aye, and I think that shows from Halkett getting injured inside the first 3 minutes because he was determined to get to that ball. I don't know if it's something he's actually headed the back of the other boy's head that's caused the gash just above his eye, but that's what we want. We've asked for it. We've mentioned it a number of times on here that's the kind of thing we expect in that first 10-15 minutes of the game. Is that high tempo, is that level of aggression to actually win the ball and show that we're not going to let clubs come and sort of not dictate as such, because most of the teams that come to Tynecastle now aren't going to be in that situation, but we want that high tempo. And I know Shanks has mentioned it, I know Ando's mentioned it. You go back to the Burley season, we were already probably plain sailing within the first 30 minutes of the game, and we could just take the foot off the gas for the last hour. And it was a great, sort of a time to be following the club.
Yep. And now for everybody that's missed it, that's us now mentioned Dick, Pussy, and now we've had Gash. So brilliant. We'll see how many more we can get in an action-packed show for you tonight. Let's see where else we can take us.
That has to be a show name: Dick, Pussy, and Gash.
Yeah, it sounds like a country and western band. But the other thing that impressed me the most is one of our absolute key aspects of Hearts is, like you said, aggression and tempo and being in people's faces and that. But the second goal highlights something that I think has been overlooked or underplayed this season, because fair enough, Hibs, Aberdeen, Motherwell, Dundee United, all these teams have been utter shite. But very, very big parts of the season, Hearts have played some brilliant football. When we were 3-4-3, we were playing really great football, real attacking football. We've obviously changed and went to 4-2-3-1, but the second goal highlights just how good a football team we can be in terms of the passing, the movement, the unselfish play as well, because as soon as Boyce gets into that space, he could have shot. He could have easily hit a shot if he wanted to. He doesn't. He passes the ball into Woodburn. Woodburn, who was getting pelters, I actually thought had an alright game. I thought he was decent yesterday. Could have shot, didn't he? You know what I mean? And then you've got your midfielder going past all of them to try and cut it back, to try and get in the end. I thought it was a really, really good team goal.
It was amazing. I don't think we should underplay that pass for Woodburn, because it's coming at him with pace,
Yep.
bobbly surface. He's only got like a metre gap to aim for. First time ball to have that much precision and that much accuracy, it was class. I really enjoyed that goal last night.
Same. Let's talk about Woodburn, right? Because we've battered him on here, and rightly so. I don't think he's been anywhere near the level that I think he's capable of. again, I don't know if you blame him for that or if it's just what happens when players are on loan for bigger clubs. Like, are they really going to buy into everything that happens with the football club or whatever? But some people, for me anyway, and don't get me wrong, people can say I'm the same way Gary Mackay-Steven, so I get it. But I don't think Woodburn had a bad game last night. I thought he played well.
In isolation, I don't think he had a bad game. But overall, for me, Ben Woodburn doesn't have it.
Right, he's certainly not showed enough yet in Maroon. I think one of the problems that Ben Woodburn has is the fact that we've already touched on it there, is Boyce never stops running, constant nuisance, gives you everything that you want. Barry Mackay, yeah, he's got tricks and flicks, but he loses the ball. He's the first person chasing that ball back down, wants to win it back. You've got Sims, constant movement, constant nuisance. He's always running around, and Woodburn's got that nonchalant, wandering Gary Mackay-Steven type persona where he isn't 100% tracking back. He isn't 100% in the tackle, all that sort of stuff. He wants to be able to take the nice touches and play the nice passes. And I think that like games like last night, where we've been so fast and so aggressive that it makes him look like he's no impact in the game. But when you actually go back and watch it, he's heavily involved in the first goal. He's heavily involved in the second goal. He helps create the two other chances that we had in the first half. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was all right.
That could be a coaching mentality for Liverpool, because obviously they've got that swag and up top, but you don't have Mane and Firmino and Salah tracking back and doing the dirty work. They're literally only up there to do one job. So it's maybe a coach thing for them. It's a lot slower tempo down there as well. So you get those touches, you get that time. So
yeah, maybe. But like, Ando's right as well. Like that's not me saying that. I think if I was to rate his overall loan, I would say it's been unsuccessful in terms of where he's at. But I think it's unfair to say that like last night, for example, folk had said like send him home straight away. But if you're basing it only on the back of last night, I actually thought it was one of his better games.
Still loses his place to Adam McInerney, though.
Aye,
He's just inconsistent, isn't he? That's all we want. We just want consistency from him.
I see. I don't know if it is inconsistent, Kev. It's an attitude thing, I think, and that's what bugs me. It's the same with GMS. It's an attitude thing. It's when you look at Calcutt with his gash, is he all bandaged up? You look at Benny. You look at Haring. Haring's like in his 30s and had proper serious injuries in his career, but he's still busting a gut. He's still tracking. He's still throwing himself into challenges. Same with everybody else, and it's that. I don't know if it's an attitude thing or he's just not up to pace with it, but it does annoy me. But talking about other players that get battered as well, I thought Andy Halliday was brilliant yesterday. I thought he was
Can't complain
superb.
at all. Brilliant. There was a couple of two again. We won't go over it in sort of forensic level of detail, but there was two passages of play where I thought if he'd just been played the ball on the right side of him, one in the first half in particular, I thought, nah, fuck it, he's on. He could have scored a double yesterday. Is it he was in the right place at the right time, but one of them was Boyce, and I can't remember who the second one was that just never. He played the ball through on the wrong side of him, and think, man, just it's not Andy Halliday's anticipation. It was Boyce's through ball that was just poor there, and I don't want to say that against my boy, but Andy Halliday easily could have got 2 goals last night if the ball had been played to him properly.
I did like he's chucking the toys out the pram when he got bullied off the ball. I think it was for the St Mirren first goal.
Aye.
And he's like, no! He slapped the grass and everyone else.
To be fair, I thought that was a foul.
Yeah, that's
I agree.
because they probably could have had a penalty as well, so we'll just dodge off that.
But then, is there a handball before Halkett absolutely smashes the bar? If we're going to be forensic about it, do you know what I mean? Like
That's fair.
I get it, but to be honest, I forgot how much that fucking Stephen Robinson or whatever the fuck he's called moans. He moans about everything. It's never his fault. It's never his team's fault. It's always an injustice or whatever. And it was like, mate, you got fucking battered. Like, do you know what I mean? Like your team fell out of it. You had no answer for your tempo and aggression. But I thought, not like what Halliday last night as well. He looked injured at least twice in the pardon me, in the game and carried on. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a bit about him, a bit like the Craig Halketts and that, and I hate when fans say this about he gets it, but there is an aspect of Andy Halliday's play where he absolutely gets it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you were asking him to go out and get 100%, there's no part of me that doesn't think he is, if you know what I mean?
Nah, that totally agree with that. It's like there are some players that they'll take a wee nudge or maybe a clip in the ankle or whatever, and they'll go down. We're not traditionally that bad for it. Like is like players rolling about feigning injury and all that sort of stuff. But that if he goes down, it's for a good reason. I know the actually maybe 3 incidents you're talking about yesterday, where he gets up and he just kind of wanders round in circles, limping. To make sure he's all right, and then after that, it's right, okay, I'm sound. Just gets the fuck on with it, and that is absolutely what playing in a maroon jersey is all about. None of this fucking go down, stay down, and pretend that I've been poleaxed.
So I'm thinking Bordeaux at Tynecastle, 2 absolute worldies. But have you seen a better goal than the St Midden second?
It maybe one. Actually, I've seen one better goal than that at Tynecastle, and it was Austin McCann's winner against Celtic. And I think that was maybe I'd been making the year up. I can't remember, but everyone knows that goal, right? It was just like that was from the moment it left his foot, it was a fucking goal every inch of the way. That's probably the only one that even comes close to that.
Was he so against Celtic?
I was thinking more goals against us. We've seen hundreds of great goals at Tynecastle. For us, I was thinking
goals
about
against
goals
us.
against us.
That
was class.
Easily the best.
When Craig Gordon's rooted to the spot and doesn't move, you know that it's been something special. Like,
I was right
100%.
behind it. Behind it. It was an absolute beltering of it. The boy it's probably possibly one of those ones that the boy can go and do another 100 times and still know at the back of the net.
How's he doing? Is he not on loan for Wolves or something? Has he had a good season, or is it just a freak strike?
I've no idea.
We could ask us. I don't even know the guy's name. Podcast, they might know.
I don't know who even scored. I just know it was a fucking.
It's obviously not a standout for them, but
Ronan, he got sent off against
Connor
Hearts last
Ronan,
game.
his name is.
He got sent off. But it was one of those surreal moments. Shank, you're 2-1 up in a quarter final of the Scottish Cup, and like you know what it's like. Hearts concede goals to make it 2 each after being so dominant. You're starting to get folk groaning and moaning and probably even booing, but a collective everybody just kind of went, that fucking fair play. That's a fucking peach.
I'll be honest. Cards on the table, I clapped it. I did.
No, get out the podcast. Get out the podcast.
After the guy kicked that fucking
put down your Nando, can I have your top side?
No. After the guy kicked the fucking the back of the seat over my head, I was like, to be fair, turn around to the boy on my right hand side. I was like, yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. I did double clap.
It was a peach, like it was a peach.
I love that everybody was too steaming to boo last night. They were just still going to have a party. That's why we won.
Didn't even know it was 2 each. Probably thought, fuck it. What's the score?
I was going to the toilet at that point. I came back and you were like, oh, they scored. I was like, oh, for fuck.
Oh, I remember. Because you asked me if I wanted a hot dog 900 times. That's right.
Where was your dad?
Where's your dad?
Where's your dad? Where is your dad, mate? Where is my dad? That's a good point. You're right. Right. And then obviously, they're on in. When it gets to 3-2 and 4-2, it was brilliant. It was the Mac and F show after that, wasn't it?
It was good.
This is one of these things. It's like the Aaron McInnes, like can be mentioned in the same breath as Jamie Walker now, which is like super sub, impact sub, whatever you want to call him. Like, man, like, does he get a start in the next game? And I know I'm breaking one rule here and saying don't change a winning team, but given his goal contribution for the very few minutes that he's actually played so far this season, you must find a way to shoehorn him in and give him a full 90, see what he's capable of. Even against maybe a Diddy team like Hibs or something.
I think
the thing is, I was going to say, McAnef played at the Spaghetti Dome and actually had a really good game there as well. He had impact in that game. Shanks didn't even come in there because you can't mind anything about that game. But I thought McAnef played really well against Livy. So why not give him a start on Saturday?
I was just going to say, if you're going to give him a punt, you're not going to do it against Hibs, and I certainly wouldn't do it in Dingwall, so it would be Saturday for me. See how he gets on.
Well, if we're being serious, Brad, the thing is, he's good when he comes on and can start at a tempo that he wants to start at, as in when he comes off the bench. But it's different starting a game and trying to find that tempo and build into it, and that's probably where same with Jimmy Walker, where we've seen him be non-effective in matches. Don't get me wrong, GMS and Woodburn have been, and generally have been non-effective in matches as well, but he is very good off the bench, just his energy and stuff, and you've seen that in Spades last night with just 36 seconds he was on, scores with his second touch.
Aye.
I think, as Ando alluded and you said as well, I think he falls in the same category as Jimmy Walker. Every single time we've seen Jimmy Walker come off the bench and scores, everyone's like, why the fuck's he not starting? And he starts and does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. I think you get certain players who are wanting to prove a point and they'll go and burst an effort to prove a point when they come on. But when they're starting, they maybe lose that added drive, because they know I've only got 20 minutes to impress here. Whereas when you start it and I've got a whole hour to kind of settle into this game or whatever, I think you've got added incentive when you come on as a sub. And I think Aaron McAnef and Jimmy Walker both are players who step up when needed to. Hopefully it proves me wrong. I want to see him start against Livy and run the show from the start. That'd be good.
Same. And Kev, one of the things that I think's really telling about football is the reactions to when people score. And you think every single person, probably other than Craig Gordon, celebrated McAnef scoring. And all right, yeah, it's a goal that makes us go 3-2 up, but I think it was more the fact that it was him. You can tell that he's obviously a really well-liked guy within the team.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a couple of interviews been going about as well. One with Benny talking about, was glad to see him, get his goal. But you're right. You see Boyce effectively, manhandles him to celebrate with him. I think he's just that element of just a genuine nice guy who just wants to play football. He must, I'm guessing anyway, he must give 100% in training. He just comes across as a nice guy, and everybody wants to sort of celebrate and take, and sort of show that he is part of the team, he is part of the squad. Because that's, again, in Benny's interview last night, that's what he's saying, is that, they're quite a tight-knit bunch. And I know we've said it before, we've used the least amount of players all season across all 12 teams in the Premier League. So it just shows you that they are a tight knit bunch and they want to see everybody do and be successful within the team.
Yep, and again the night perfectly rounded off, and a goal that was merited from his performance for Sims gets in the end of it, makes it 4-2. We spoke about it before. We're getting more and more impressed with Sims the more I see him, if you know what I mean. And today's results look like it's pretty much Everton are going to be in the Championship next year. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for us. We're not going to be able to sign him, but another season-long loan or something like that wouldn't go amiss. Shanks is someone that we haven't asked this question to because we spoke to everybody else in the pod before. Have you been impressed with Sims, what you've seen of him?
I just think he's strong, and it just gives you that wee bit extra, doesn't he? He's not like a Uche that will hold the ball up well, and occasionally he's decent with his feet.
Uche hold the ball up well. Fucking brilliant.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the show name.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think he gives you. I think I just think I trust him when he's up there. If he can knock it down, for me he is good. He impressed me when he first arrived, but he's maybe not quite hit the mark in terms of the goal count yet. But yeah, I would definitely give him another 6 months if we can. 100%.
Is it like 4 goals in 6 games or something like 7 games?
There's something along those lines. But you're talking about trusting him. What I can't trust him to do is finish a shot that he has. It's like him. You look at the potential opportunities he's had to score. Now, granted, you've not been to Tynecastle since January or whenever it was you were last there. But that fact aside, he is not as clinical as I think he needs to be. There are far too many chances that he finds himself in where he just doesn't deliver. I think let's not fuck about here. His goals per game return is really, really good so far. But if he could nail that down to actually being clinical, then well, to be fair, he wouldn't be playing with us. There's a reason he's playing with us. And I think there's too many opportunities that he's wasted in recent games. He really, really needs to tighten up on that for me.
Utter shite. That getting cut. That whole bit's getting cut because that's shite. But anyway, we'll move on. All
right, okay. Is that the way it works? Is it?
I think he had 2 shots yesterday and scored one of them, and the other shot that he had was past his left foot. And now you're right. He's shite on his left foot.
We're not just talking about the game in fucking isolation last night, though, dickhead, are we?
But he's been brilliant, and you've already proven yourself to talk shite when it comes to boys. Now you're going to have to buy a bus for Sims. Get a Lego bus. Get a Lego bus for Sims. We actually, talking about Sims, this was what I loved, and we all probably buzzing to see was the fact that the wee guy that had a cardboard cutout that said Sims can I have your top get fucking pied exactly the way he should have been treated. That was good to see that.
Cut out. That has to be cut
out. It has to be. Did you see the picture of the day for, I was going to say Highbury, but it's not called that anymore. What's it called? Is it Emirates or something? Is that what Arsenal play? Literally, I think it was the Leicester end. There was about 6 folk standing with their wee cardboard cutout saying, "Can I have your top?" or something. Like, how do you get in? You can't even get into a game with a Capri Sun. How the fuck do you get in with 2 cardboard cutouts asking for people's tops? Needs to stop. You're absolutely right. Right. Anything else about the game that you wanted to talk about and that you liked or enjoyed?
Well, wait a minute. We need, if we're cutting my bit, you need a.
That was a
natural...
joke. Stop taking it so sensitive.
No.
That was a joke. I was kidding on. Didn't go in a huff. Right.
I'm not in a huff. I've fucking written down 1 minute 11:43 seconds. That's where it gets cut to 1 minute 12:39 when you're talking pish. And then we need
Can we just keep this whole bit in? This is fucking
another
bullshit.
intro.
This is getting kept in again. Everybody needs to know with the drama queens we work with.
I'm not crying, it's hay fever.
See, right.
This is how I feel like 12 months of the year, Ando.
Wait a minute. There's 2 at once. What did you say, Brad?
I said I'm not crying.
No one cares what you're saying. Shut the fuck up. Right.
Oh, that was good.
What a terrible attempt. Right, let's move on to Livingston. Livingston next. Sit home. The first thing we'll talk about, which is good for it, is the ticket drive. As it stands now, I think we've gave away 135 tickets for the Livingston home game. We've also tied in with Big Hearts because the Livingston home game is Big Hearts Day. I believe they've gave away 200 tickets as well. So that's absolutely superb. We're going this week. We tied in with Rogues and Rascals in Broxburn, which is a barber's. They've gave away 25 tickets, I believe, to families in and around the West Lothian area that are Hearts fans that potentially couldn't get to the game. So that's class. We're going out door to door with those guys this week to surprise some families with tickets and stuff. So that'll be fun and games. So that's the good stuff out the way for the Livingston game. Thoughts? We'll just go around quickly. We'll do Ando. Start with you. Or you've kind of alluded to it already, but do you make changes for Livingston, or do you kind of keep it where it is?
I'd be pissing on my own argument if I said change a winning team. But given their injury woes, I think that gives us gives me a little bit of latitude if I'm the manager and say, bring McInnes in. And Nah, fuck it. Keep the same team.
Right, prediction.
It'll be, because I'm there and I'm not driving. It'll be
1-0 Livy.
Hearts 2, Livingston 2.
You think it's a draw?
I think we've been in a fairly good run of results recently. It's a house of cards, man. Everything's coming down somewhere along the line. I think Saturday's that, and you know what? If it's Livingston at home, after I've made the fucking effort to come up, get a night out with the boys, and overnight, plan it all ahead with the missus, we're getting fucked on Saturday, man. Yeah. It's just the way it's going.
Ruin a good day. Kev.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think I would. I would go with the starting 11 from yesterday's game. I know what we're saying about McAnuff changing the game, but I think I would stick with 11 that started yesterday. What I think we'll find is that, and this is what I was impressed with Livy in the cup game, is they shut teams down very, very quickly. You know, they do work and have that sort of high press. If they have that same game plan on Saturday, it will be a tough game, and I think it'll be tight. So I'm going 1-0 Hearts.
Okay, Brad, what's your thoughts?
I've written down two formations in two shapes because I don't know if he'll go back to 3-4-3 or he'll stick with the 4-2-3-1. So I'm hoping he'll potentially just stick with that 4-2-3-1 that he played last night. And the only change for me would be McAnuff in for Woodburn. And I'm going to prediction. So I've done well in the predictor all this year because I've been a realist, but now I'm getting my own head. And every time I bet against Hearts, they do well. So I'm going to say 2-1 Livy.
I like your logic. That's what we do with the stats on a Saturday that Ando does when he does his tweets. We like to find something negative that will make it look like Hearts are going to lose. And it's worked every week for the last 4 weeks, so that's good. Right, Shanks, you coming back to Tynecastle on Saturday?
Nah, I've got a wedding.
Who are you marrying?
It's not my wedding.
Okay.
So for me, I would, I'd keep the same team, keep the same formation, because I think if you don't, your bench isn't really going to change the game if you're relying on Woodburn to come off and do something miraculous if you need it. So I'd rather have McAnuff on there should we need him. And I fancy Hearts to do well on Saturday. I think Livy will bottle it 3-1.
And does Don Cowie start, or is he on the bench? Because that was the last time you were at fucking Tynecastle. Don Cowie was still in the fucking matchday squad.
Cool story, man.
I think I'm with you, Shanks. I'm fairly confident for Saturday, which is a real worry.
6-0.
I don't know. I don't know what it'll all be dependent on injuries. If I'm being honest with you, they'll probably look to bring some of the regulars back if they're there. If everything was how it was now and we were had the same players to pick from in the same scenario, then I would probably my only change would be McAnuff for Woodburn, and I'm going to say a comfortable 2-0 Hearts on Saturday. There we go. Right, then we've basically got 2 games left. Well, 3, including Saturday against Livingston. We've got Livingston at home, County away, Hibs at home. I think we've been building up now towards the derby, isn't it? Like the season potentially could face 2 derbies in a week or whatever, because we play them on the 9th April, and then the weekend after that is the semi-final weekend. So there's a chance that we'll play back-to-back derbies. Again, it's the only black mark, and I keep saying it, but I'll say it again. It's the only black mark now because we've done well in the cup. It's our derby record, or Robbie's derby record. I think he's won one league game versus Hibs as a manager, and they obviously knocked them out of the semi after extra time the last time. So he's got 2 wins overall out of 9 or something like that. I don't know, I can't remember, 7 or 9 or something like that. So how do we feel we're going into it? We're going to keep the form going. I suppose it all matters about how we get rid of Livy and County first, but we'll dive to the derby because we like talking about them anyway. What's your thoughts? Anybody watch Hibs today?
They were pish.
Yeah, I thought so too. But that's easy to say. That's easy to say because we're our rivals. I thought the The young boy up front looked good for them, took his goals well. But other than that, I thought they made heavy weather there. Very, very, very poor Motherwell side that were down to 10 men. Like,
I never seen the game. Was that sending off? So what was it in like the second minute or something like that, wasn't it?
no, the first minute.
Or was the first, was it?
Aye, I don't know. I keep changing my mind when I see it.
There's two instances. One's a booking and one's a red card, and they've just given it the other way around. So,
Aye,
Okay.
it's a weird one. Like, cause I'm actually trying to think how VAR would have judged the incidents that happened in the Hearts game last night to the incidents that have happened the day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, try to look back and see would VAR have got involved or changed anything? Because St Mirren probably should have had the penalty. I'm pretty certain I was at the time, and I've seen it again and think that there was a handball before Halkett hit the bar. Then you look at the Mugabe thing after 60 seconds. I think VAR gives that as a red card. I think it's a red card. Like,
No, if you look at the English rules, VAR will only intervene where the referee's made a clear and obvious error. So if you look at that, his foot's high, it's over the top of his ankle. For me, it's not a red card, but is there enough there to say that Willie Collins made a clear and obvious error? Probably not, given the fact that he sees it in real time. So therefore, VAR doesn't rescind that red card. The second one, it's a yellow card. Now, again, if you apply the same rules of the first challenge to the second challenge, yeah, it's high. It's over the top of the boy's ankle. It is a yellow card at best. They're not going to give a red card to that based on the fact that they don't correct him for the first one. So the VAR argument's a moot point for me. It doesn't really matter.
I disagree. I think by the letter of the law, I would have gave them as both red cards just because of how weird they are with the letters of the law. But then saying that, we're begging for VAR because the decisions up here are so bad. But then you look at the decisions that are happening in England week in, week out just now. We're even like Newcastle today.
yeah, it's shocking.
I have no idea how that isn't a penalty in real time, and then I don't even know how it's not a penalty when VAR are watching it, or how, like you said, Ando, if it's a mistake, they encourage the ref to go to the wee screen thing to have a second glance or whatever, and they've no gave it. So it is a strange one, but there we go. Right, we're waffling shite now. Let's get to Kevin McKenna. Skis your answers, and we'll take it from there, Kevo.
So first, McKenna for tonight, age 28 and in his 4th season at the club. 10 goals across all 4 seasons, 86 appearances, and hung.
I threw him under the bus earlier because I said he was in his 30s.
I was going to call you for it.
So I was like, it's Big Pedro, isn't it?
Big chopper.
Big chopper himself, Peter Haring. And the second one from tonight was spent 2 seasons in Gorgie, played at under 17, 19 and 21 level internationally, but not for the full squad. Only goal was against Alloa on one of the coldest nights I've ever experienced, and also a sexy bastard. Ando.
It's not a sexy bastard, but it's Piardo.
It is Piardo.
Okay.
It is
And
Piardo.
it was a peach as well, wasn't it?
Was it? Aye. It was the only
peach, like-
thing. It was the only thing you can actually say was good that night.
You know, win 4-1 or something like that, Kev.
Aye, something like that. I think
Aye, that's
McGowan. Shut up, Kevin. Patterson scored 2 towards the end of the game,
Aye,
and maybe Billy King.
maybe. I did remember Pialdo pinging it in the top bag though.
Aye, decent
decent.
finish.
Right, boys, anything else you just want to talk about?
Not at all, no. I think we've covered it.
Nice,
Yeah, we're all
right.
good.
So back to just normal procedure next week. Back Sunday, Hearts play Ruiner weekend on the Saturday. We can be miserable on the Sunday, like the good old days. Right, boys, it was good to talk to you. I'll see you all soon.
Catch
See
you
you
later.
later.
Catch you.
Forget out.